Well, I would definitely like to say it's not a moral failing or or a willpower problem. It's a genetic predisposition that is inherent in a lot of families. It's passed on through generations, and I feel that when you have this propensity of the gene, the alcoholic addict gene, and you add childhood trauma or childhood neglect, or it's likely to manifest as soon as we take our first drink or our first drug in our teens. It's kind of like a big relief. It's like the missing piece of the jigsaw is finally there. And a lot of alcoholics and addicts have the same experience for their first drink or their first getting high experience, where it's been phenomenal. It's been beautiful. It's like they've been given the book on how to behave and how to be in the world. And I know with me it was like I never felt comfortable in my own skin until I started to drink alcohol, and it was like it wasn't my problem, it was my solution to being uncomfortable in this meat suit. And I think for anyone else who's finding that other people that love them are making comment, I think is a big thing, as a sort of a litmus test to how we're going with our substance use or abuse. Or there's lots of different, I'm not a clinical person, but in my own experience, I've seen many different levels of alcoholism and drug addiction. And it seems to be we're trying to fill a hole in our soul, and the drug or the substance fills it temporarily for a time, and then it doesn't, it cracks out. And that's why the 12 steps in the anonymous fellowships, Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Sex and Love Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, all of the anonymous fellowships have this 12-step program, which is spiritual in nature, as the way out, the only way out. I found for me, I know there would be a lot of controversy about that, but there's no room for the higher power or God or spirituality in the active alcoholic or addict's life, because it's so full of just trying to get a hold of the substance to feel normal again, to feel that the solution to life is there in that substance. It makes me feel whole. And so to be told when I first came into Alcoholics Anonymous that I had to find a higher power, or I would be destined to jails, institutions, or an early death, I didn't like the proposition of that at all, because I was a Catholic and I'd thrown religion out, the baby out with the bathwater when it came to religion, because of a very stressful and abusive childhood in the Catholic Church with myself and my family. So when I saw the word God on the wall in step 3, I thought, oh, this is a cult. This is when are they going to ask me to drink the Kool-Aid? They got this book, they got this guy, this Bill and this Bob, and they're all standing around and all good fellow, well met, slapping the back and welcoming me and saying coming back and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, these people, there's something wrong with these people. What are they trying to sell me? And until I'd got through the 12 steps, I really didn't trust anybody in Alcoholics Anonymous or any of the other anonymous fellowships. But once I got through the 12 steps, the 12th step is, it says, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. We try to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. So I was told by my sponsor that the most important word in the 12 steps was, in the 12th step was the word the. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. We try to carry this message to other alcoholics and practice these principles in all our affairs. So people were just carrying the message to me, a message of hope, experience, strength, that they had lived. And it was through lived experience, me watching them, how they lived, and spending time with them and realizing that they were, you know, still people. We don't become a protected species because we're sober and have done the 12 steps. There's still a lot of work to do, but it's a spiritual kindergarten, and there's more and more that we can do by helping other people. And that if we dedicate our lives to helping other people, we get a much easier day. We get an upgraded perception on that day. We get a feeling of usefulness, whereas, you know, the drinking alcoholic is full of uselessness and self-pity. With the recovery program of Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a hard sell in today's world that we have to find a spiritual solution or we will die. And unfortunately, with other conditions like heart disease and cancer, diabetes, you know, people feel sorry for you, you know, but with alcoholism, they don't. You know, everyone's a bit angry. Everyone's a bit upset. Everyone's got a relative that, you know, that is spoken in hushed terms, you know, they a little bit, and, you know, that she'd taken a turn or he'd taken a turn or he's a violent man or whatever it is. And people have a lot of shame and guilt around alcoholism and drug addiction. And rightly so, because we affect so many other people with our selfishness and self-centeredness. We can't see past our addiction to the substance. That's first. And I mean, this can come right down to a whole bunch of other things as well, that not just alcohol, but, you know, drugs, gambling, sex and love, food, sugar, caffeine, nicotine. It's like whack-a-mole, you know, like as soon as you put something down, you know, another thing pops up. So, you know, it's a constant, I wouldn't say struggle, because, you know, in step 3, it's like we make a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And it's not religious at all. It's non-denominational. All that the fellowships are trying to get every member to understand is that it's between them and the higher power, because nothing on earth can save them. Nothing in this realm with the 3 dimensions and the 5 senses is going to help us. We have to find a higher power, and that's the only thing that fits perfectly in the big hole that's in our soul. And the higher power can come in and fit perfectly. All the other substitutes, like, you know, some of them are not too bad at working, you know, exercise, these kind of things, throwing ourselves into volunteering for others, but these can become addictions as well. So the only thing that fits perfectly is that idea of a higher power. And you know, step 11 is sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. That is prayer and meditation, which is, in many of the religions of the world, is the foundation and bedrock, especially for Buddhism, is prayer and meditation, and how to be seeking a connection with the great energy, whatever that may be. But it's mandatory for alcoholics and addicts to try and find this, because our egos are so big. We're people with huge egos but low self-esteem, if that makes sense, you know. We'll be lying in the gutter covered in our own vomit, looking down on people. And it's the dichotomy and the struggle of the active alcoholic to try and keep everybody happy. So we're trying on one hand to fill the void in ourselves, and then hopelessly trying to help others. It's catastrophic in families. And children that grow up. There's even alcoholic children, OCOA, adult children of alcoholics, which is a whole other realm, which is only just recently been discovered, that children of alcoholics have problems too. So it's like, we throw a stone into the pool here, the ripples go outwards. It's that family of origin first, then it might be, siblings, or they're in the family of origin, it might be family of origin, and then partners, distant relatives, people who work with, and then the general population. And everyone's affected by the alcoholic and addict who's still drinking and using. So it's a disease. It's a disease of the physiological first. It's an allergy of the body. And 15% of the population, in most populations, are alcoholic or addict. In indigenous populations, that can climb up to into the late 20s. But it's 15% of any population. If you think of like the population of America, you're talking about maybe, a couple of million alcoholics, addicts. And with things like fentanyl getting around, the death rate and suicide rate is phenomenal.